Let's take a minute to look back on what we've talked about. We talked about characteristics that are common for many autistic people. We've talked about the way that autistic people perceive the world and process information. We've talked about the way that autistic people make decisions and the behaviors that result from those decisions. We've talked about the fact that sometimes those decisions and that behavior can cause conflict between an autistic person and the rest of the world. We've talked about the fact that the world sees autism as a disease that needs to be cured. It's a disorder that needs to be treated. We've talked about the fact that trying to fit in, trying to blend, trying to mask and pretend that you're like everybody else takes a huge toll on autistic people. We've talked about the fact that most people's definition of autism is based on Hollywood stereotypes. And in the Hollywood stereotypes, the autistic person could be annoying, could be brilliant, but he's always not one of us. He's always the other. He's always different. He's always separate. Being autistic is painful. Being autistic is isolating. I spent decades trying to be like everybody else. What's wrong with me? Why can't I do what everybody else can do? Why don't I think the way everyone else thinks? All I knew is that I was different. And in my mind, different was about the worst thing that I could be. I just wanted to be normal. Figuring out that I'm autistic didn't magically make all my problems go away overnight. I'm still trying to work on some things. I still am trying to change the way I think about myself and the world around me. But figuring out that I'm autistic and connecting with other people like myself, it showed me that I'm not broken or defective or any of the other labels that the world tries to put on me. I just see the world differently, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Life isn't perfect. I still have trouble communicating what I need sometimes. I still have trouble making eye contact and doing all the right social niceties that I'm supposed to do when I'm in a crowd of people. And I get tired of having to explain autism to people over and over and over again. But if you had a magic wand and you offered to wave it and make my autism go away, I'd say no. Because this is who I am. This is how my brain works. And I'm finally getting to the point where I like who I am and I accept the way my brain works. But I don't want to change.
I think everyone listening would have to admit that currently there is a lot of stigma surrounding autism. The word autistic is even used as an insult, a slur in some circles, thrown at people who may or may not actually be autistic, but are acting in a certain way that another finds unacceptable or probably strange. People who are autistic and openly behave in ways that are different are often judged, with stereotyped assumptions made about them, and disapproving looks and unkind, sometimes even hateful comments directed at them. Then there are the autistic individuals who mask, and perhaps mask very well. These are people who you may not know or realize are autistic. Believe me, we get judged too, but it's usually more subtly. As much as we may try to fit in with others and do what is expected, our efforts sometimes miss the mark. Because autistic people are great at noticing detail, we pick up on indications from others that we did or said something wrong, or that our behavior or communication is in some way different from that of the majority of society. Another issue with being high or masking is that because we more or less behave like others in society most of the time, in the times that we don't or can't, we are given very little leeway or understanding. Soon after it was uncovered that I'm autistic, I was planning for a public speaking appearance and was put in touch with a colleague who, it was thought, would be helpful to me. In answer to her question of what my speech was about, I summed up the late identification of autism in my daughter and me, and how much better we now understand ourselves and autism, and how it's not this horrible condition or state of being that people treat it as. Even with this personal acceptance clear in my answer to her, she responded with a negative and very surprised look on her face, but it's autism. In addition to the stigma around autism, Another problem is the very limited information most people have about it, which is why we developed this course. A second very telling story about the early months of my identification is when I revealed my official diagnosis to a school psychologist I was friendly with. Now that you have taken this course, I hope you will find this psychological professional's response as unbelievable as I did. But you don't have autism. Autism is... Thankfully, she never completed her sentence and just left it hanging. I wonder what she had in her mind in her limited and incorrect understanding of what autism is. We hope you now have a much broader lens through which to view autism in general and to apply to your interactions with people who are autistic. We hope that you also have a wider and more accurate picture of autism as it may possibly apply to you, a family member, or someone else close in your life. Another benefit we hope this course will allow you is the option of grace, understanding, and support when someone may reveal to you that they are autistic. Especially in the case of late identification, the person likely has a lot of sorting out to do for themselves, and your kindness and support will go a long way. Questioning or doubting them is both inappropriate and extremely hurtful. I'm happy that the full picture of autism is now being understood, and that people like you know that the picture includes a deep sense of loyalty and a strong sense of justice. Yes, it can include emotional dysregulation, but it also can include immense empathy. It includes honest communication, but if we move past what can sometimes feel like a blunt or rude situation, we can see some benefits that come with honesty and direct, clear feedback. Our facial expressions, tone, or body language may differ a bit, but that's not really so important in the grand scheme of things, is it? In that grand scheme of things, far more important could be the pattern recognition and problem-solving skills, our ability to concentrate intently for long periods of time, a high commitment and dedication to topics and projects that interest us, or any of the other areas where many autistics excel. What innovations or improvements, what new approaches or perspectives have those traits in people led to in the past? What could they contribute to in the future? Or even simply, today? David and I are so glad that you're joining the group that is learning about autism to make the world a better place.
Thank you for making the effort to learn more about autism and to start breaking down some of the barriers between the autistic community and the non-autistic community. Take care.
Take care.